The COVID tally now stands at 1,943 cases after 9 new infections were reported on Thursday, June 3rd. Leading a press briefing on behalf of the task force on Thursday, June 3rd, the Deputy Director General of the Department of Communicable Diseases Control under the Ministry of Health, Dr. Latsamy Vongkhamsao, gave an update on the COVID outbreak. She said people should not become complacent about the drop in the number of new COVID cases, warning that new clusters could occur if people fail to comply with the virus prevention guidelines.
สำหรับสปป.ลาวเฮามาฮอดปัจจุบันแม่นมีผู้ติดเชื้อทั้งหมด 1,943 คนเนาะและซึ่งมีการติดเชื้อใหม่เพิ่มขึ้นอีก 9 คน
Laos was still at high risk of a major outbreak following a spike in new cases in neighboring countries. The COVID tally now stands at 1,943 cases after new infections were reported on Thursday, June 3rd. 6 of the cases were reported in Vientiane, while 2 imported cases were reported in Savanakhet and Champasak provinces. Meanwhile, 1,668 people have been discharged from hospitals.
แต่พวกเฮาบ่ควรประมาทในการปฏิบัติมาตรการต่างๆตามแจ้งการที่ทางรัฐบาล
Dr. Latsamy Vongkhamsao urged all Lao people to stay at home and help the nation keep the virus from spreading and to comply with all the measures of COVID-19 outlined in Prime Minister's Order Number 15. Even though progress has been made in enforcing the Prime Minister's order, many people have failed to follow the measures advised to keep the virus in check.
แต่การปฏิบัติในการป้องกันและการควบคุมการฆ่าเชื้อดังกล่าวนั้นก็ยังเห็นว่ายังมีกลุ่มคนบางคนมีผู้บางคนเนาะยังละเมิดในการเดินทางไปมาหาสู่กันภายในครอบครัว
Dr. Latsamy said relatives and friends still visit each other despite instructions by authorities not to gather in groups. She said, adding that failures to obey the lockdown rules have resulted in the virus spreading in public offices, factories, and companies. The government is still struggling to contain the community outbreak of COVID despite a concerted attempt over the past 1.5 months to contain the virus. The government has imposed a lockdown for the 3rd time, with 28 villages in Vientiane being designated as red zones in late May after infections were reported in these neighborhoods. The number of red zones has now fallen to 21 after several villages have been virus-free for the past 14 days.
วิธีการดำรงชีวิตแบบใหม่ให้เป็นปกติเช่นว่าเฮาต้องใส่ผ้าปิดปากปิดดังเนาะมันล้างมือด้วยน้ำสะอาดใส่สบู่หรือเจลหรือเหล้า70
It is critical to intensify disease control efforts at the community level and to trace everyone who has come into contact with infected individuals. Health officials urge everyone to adapt to the new normal by wearing face masks when going out, using hand sanitizer, and following the rules of social distancing. But the most important thing is for everyone to get vaccinated in order to cut the chain of infection. The government is aiming for 50% of the population to be vaccinated by the end of this year. So far, more than 658,370 people have received a first dose of the COVID-19, while 227,317 have had both doses. Last week, China pledged to provide 500,000 more doses of vaccine. The commitment came during a virtual meeting between National Assembly President Dr. Saisaporn Phomvihane and the chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of China, Li Shansu. A shipment of 100,620 doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine arrived in Laos on Wednesday, provided by the COVAX facility, a partnership between the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, UNICEF, and the World Health Organization, or WHO. The arrival of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is very timely, as the government has set an ambitious target to protect 50% of the population with COVID-19 vaccines by the end of 2021.